Howdy, folks. How you doing today? Hope you're doing well. Hope you're relaxed. Hope you're in a comfortable place, and hope you're ready to enjoy this valuable webinar on natural treatments for anxiety and stress. A very important subject in our modern society of high stress, high anxiety. We're going to cover the signs and symptoms of anxiety. One of those, if you're taking anxiety meds, well, that's one sign. Uh, then we'll cover the causes. Oh, yeah, you're probably making it worse. There's probably things you're doing every day to make your own anxiety worse. So we got to cover those causes. And then we got, of course, dietary and lifestyle changes that you will need to make. And then, of course, herbal treatments, which will pretty much chill you out the next day you start taking them. Which are the powerful and effective treatment for most people who aren't able to change their life too much and lower their anxiety by changing their lifestyle, their job, etc. They're pretty much have to take the herbs. But so we're going to have a holistic approach here. Don't think that, hey, send me a bag of that relaxing tea and I'll be fine. No, let's step back. And let's look at the causes. Let's look at your diet. Let's look at your lifestyle and examine it. But first, what are the symptoms of anxiety? Or we could say being over stressed out. Anxiety and insomnia often go together, and they're both neurological issues. So we're addressing your nervous system, just like when you have inflammatory colon pain, muscle pain, these are all inflammation conditions. You could have inflammation in the gums, you could have inflammation in the joints, you could have inflammation in the colon, but it's all inflammation. So it's and it could be inflammation in your muscles, it could be inflammation in your joints, it could be inflammation in your nerves. But here we're talking about today aggravation, depletion in your nervous system. So you have to know what you're treating here. We don't treat medical conditions. Medical names are useful if you want to match things up to a medication. But we want to address the underlying causes, and thus we need to address the underlying system and organs that are involved. In this case, it's very clear, your nervous system. We're treating your nervous system. So anything you do to aggravate or deplete your nervous system is going to increase your anxiety and insomnia. It's very simple. So let's start with some of these common signs and symptoms. A racing heart, boom, 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 boom. Fast breathing, yeah. Overthinking. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? What am I going to do? Where am I going to go? That thinking too much. You're lying in bed. You should be asleep, and you're thinking, well, I should do this tomorrow. I forgot to do this today. I should be doing this tomorrow. These are all signs of overstimulated nervous system. You could call it anxiety if you wish, but that's the result. You could call it insomnia, but that's a result. The cause is from your nervous system. Your nervous system is agitated, stimulated, or depleted, or all of the above. I will explain. Other signs and symptoms, of course, are just waking up in the middle of the night, being overly sensitive, like there's a loud noise and you jump. These are signs that you are your nervous system is on the edge, you could say, overly sensitive. Now, even if somebody touches you, somebody says something, you could even go so far as saying that even you're overly sensitive to the words that people say. You overreact. So these are all signs the nervous system is, overly sensitive. It's responding too much to all the stimuli in the world. Like you watch a movie and then you can't stop thinking about it and you can't sleep. This is also a type of, overly sensitive, overly not a strong, stable nervous system. And of course, racing heart and all of these type of conditions and panic attacks where you start breathing fast, heart races fast, and you can't even function would be the extreme. So you could have anxiety from just a little level, from just like thinking too much to panic attacks. Anywhere in there, we could call it anxiety. So there's many degrees of anxiety. So I've been treating it for decades, and there's no case of anxiety or insomnia that I'm not successful in treating if the person's able to remove some of these causes. So what are some of the causes? If we know what we're talking about here, we're talking about agitation, depletion, and stimulation to our nervous system. Then what are the causes? What causes this to our nervous system? Well, you might as well start making a list right now, because most people are doing 4 or 5 of these things every day. And if you don't remove these causes, even you're taking medication, you're not addressing the underlying causes. And most people are not removing these causes, but they're taking meds or even trying to take herbs, but they're not removing the causes. So there's a lot of them, so I'm going to do them very quickly. Number one, definitely, is coffee. That's right. I know you love your coffee. And many people are in a very unhealthy cycle because they didn't sleep at night because they were overthinking, overstimulated, and had too much caffeine pumping through their blood, because the caffeine stays in your body for days. So even you had a caffeine on Monday, Wednesday night, you're still not sleeping because you still got caffeine pumping through you, and you're a sensitive person. And, you're going to pay that price for that caffeine for a couple days. And if you're just having the famous 1 cup a day, then it's accumulating every day. And then by Friday, you can't sleep at all. Then maybe you have to, do a little caffeine detox for a few days, and you're better on Monday. But that is the number one cause. Now, I understand that people, they're so tired because they didn't sleep at night. So then they have to have the coffee. And then the coffee keeps them going in the day because they got to make a living and do their job. But then that keeps them up at night, so they don't sleep, and then they have to take the coffee. So you can see the cycle. I'm going to tell you how I can break that cycle in just 2 to 3 days, very quickly, with herbs, because I can keep you going in the day without caffeine using adrenal tonics, adrenal teas, and then I can knock you out at night with herbs. Very simple. It's a piece of cake. I've been doing it for decades. And then once you get that good sleep at night, then you don't need the coffee the next day. And then you've broken the cycle. And then I give people adrenal teas, and they're like very dependent on them for a week or two. But once they're sleeping good, they don't even need them anymore. So number one, if you have anxiety, you have heart palpitations, you have racing mind, you're overthinking, you can't sleep well, you're having panic attacks, you need to find a way to get that caffeine, or green tea even, or Red Bull, or any type of stimulant out of your life, because that's not only keeping you up, but it's aggravating your whole nervous system. It's probably creating more problems for you as well, because when you're anxious, your digestion's poor, then you can get gas and bloating and have all kinds of problems, all from the anxiety, all stemming back from this coffee stimulant or just green tea. Now, other stimulants, chocolate. Chocolate is a big stimulant. I've had many people did the whole appointment just for insomnia. I told them, get off the coffee. They said, I'm not doing coffee. No coffee. And they go, oh my God, no coffee. No chocolate. They said, no chocolate? I go, no chocolate. It's stimulated. Oh my God, I don't know if I can live without my chocolate. And then after I did the follow-up a month later, how'd it go? Sleeping herbs work, relaxing herbs work, adrenal tea work? Oh yeah, they work great. But I think my big problem why I was staying up for last 20 years is I've been eating chocolate every night. As soon as I stopped the chocolate, I started sleeping better. Well, it is an aphrodisiac. So, if it's your honeymoon or it's Valentine's Day and you want to stimulate your wife and, put her in the right mood, then go for it. Give her chocolate. People have been doing it for hundreds of years. But if you want to sleep, no, wrong choice. Maybe a little in the day, but definitely not at night. So stimulants are the biggest cause, number one. But there's a lot more. There's a lot more. Fasting, skipping meals. There's a new big fad going around called intermediate fasting, which they don't even do properly in the first place. They're not even doing fasting correctly. We won't go into that. Maybe in my podcast on Saturday, I'll cover that subject of this new fad of fasting. But if you're thin, you're underweight, you're not overweight, you should not be fasting. If you have anxiety, you should not be fasting. You have insomnia, you should not be fasting. And furthermore, low-fat diet can also aggravate your nervous system. Well, let's not say aggravate. It can make it more vulnerable. I can tell if a person's not having enough fat. I don't even need to ask them. I mean, I just say, look, let me see how thick your skin is on the back of your hand. If it's very thin, that's not a lot of fat. I say, do you get cracking joints? Oh, I got a crack, but see, I can't keep cracking them, but I did get a crack there. But I say, do you have neck crack, your arms crack? If your joints are cracking, that's lack of lubrication, lack of fat in the diet. And if, of course, and another cause, lack of fat, fasting, and being underweight. Now, a lot of people don't think they're underweight because in our society today, you're supposed to be skinny. Skinny's good. But if you go back and look at history, nobody was skinny, not males, not females, nobody. Go look at your Roman statues. Go look at your Greek statues. Nobody was skinny. Skinny was weak and depleted and probably didn't sleep good. So, skinny and thin is a modern society view of healthy. But I get plenty of skinny women and men with plenty of health problems. Let me tell you, you just can't tell because, hey, they look good in a bikini or a bathing suit. So everybody thinks they're healthy. But once they do the appointment, you realize, no, this person is anything but healthy. And one of their biggest issues that thin people have is anxiety, hypersensitivity, overthinking, and insomnia, because they're not supporting their nervous system. Their nervous system needs fat, just like every cell in the body. It's like your skin too is like a big membrane. So if you thought your body was like a cell, and the skin is the membrane, and it's made of fat. Every cell in your body is made of fat. The nerve cell, we call the myelin sheath, it's also made of fat. So when you have a low fat diet, you're not eating much fat, oil, in butter, cheese, dairy, all these are fat things. They will make your skin thicker, make you not so sensitive, and protect every cell in your body, and insulate and protect every nerve in the body. And now remember, you can have nerve damage. Certain conditions like Parkinson's and MS are a type of nerve damage. And that almost always comes with a person doing a low fat diet, because that membrane or myelin sheath around the nerves is too thin. So if you have thin skin, cracking joints, and trying to avoid oil because you think it's making you fat and you can't sleep well, now you know why. You can't be missing meals and having low fat diet if you have anxiety. You need the food to ground you out. You need the nutrients, the B vitamins to support your nervous system. Other dietary mistakes people make is grain-free diet. Okay, maybe you shouldn't be eating a lot of bread and rice if you're obese, but this subject is not about obesity here. The subject is about anxiety. And when you're anxious, you need grains, because grains are our main source of our B vitamins, which are keeping us calm and relaxed. So I've seen people that never had anxiety in their whole life, and once they did grain-free diet, they had anxiety for the first time in their whole life. Maybe it took them a few months to deplete themselves. So low-fat diet, no grain diet, and even a vegan diet of no dairy can be trouble, because, I mean, there's no society in the world that's vegan except Southern California. I wouldn't call it a society, but it's more of a fad. There's very few body types and health situations that should be completely vegan. Now, if you're obese and you have fatty liver, you have high cholesterol, you're 80 pounds overweight, okay, you can be vegan. But I wouldn't even call it vegan. I would just call it no animal protein, maybe a little ghee on the top of your food for flavor, because ghee doesn't increase the cholesterol and the body fat like butter does. But for everybody else, particularly a thin person, a sensitive person, a person with cracking joints, a person with thin skin, you should be having butter. You should be having ghee. You should be having more oil. You should be having avocados. You should be having animal protein. So another very interesting thing is that beans, they're as good as they are for weight loss, lowering cholesterol, absorbing excess lipid proteins in your blood, and reducing down your cholesterol. That's a wonderful quality of beans, but not what you want for anxiety. Most people who are thin, sensitive, anxious, panic attack, I just take them off the beans, particularly if there's any neuropathy or neurological issues. I treat a lot of cases of neuropathy, and even if they're a large person and I would like them to lose weight or maybe lower their cholesterol, if they're having bad neuropathy and they're in a wheelchair, I say no beans at all. That's right. And what other protein you going to have? You got to have some animal protein. Okay, if they're overweight, I'll give you some white chicken meat. But if you're not overweight, fish and oil, oily fish, dark chicken meat, animal protein, because you've got to build the body up. Back to this point of being underweight. I want to talk about that because that's a very common cause of have anxiety, hypersensitivity, and high stress and insomnia is being underweight. But people don't know what underweight is. They just think they're fine. In fact, I've had people that say they go do their blood work, nothing there, and everybody says you look great. But as soon as I see them, I say, you're depleted. And that's why you're having your anxiety, your stress, your poor sleep. You're completely depleted. And they go, oh, how do you know that? Very simple. You have holes. You can look at somebody's collarbone. If you got big holes in big indentations here, or you can see the cheekbones sticking out, you can see the bones on the back of their hand. And now I don't have opportunity to see people's chest bones, rib cage, but I can look at the back of the hand. And if I see bones sticking out here, then I know they're depleted. If you see the veins and the bones, and what you look for is gaps between the bones. You do not want to see a person's ribs. I know that's very popular in the gym, but that is the sign of depletion when you see a person's ribs. End of story. You're depleted. And you also see big holes here. So a depleted person will always be anxious because the body is starving and you're not feeding it enough. So no, if you have anxiety, you can't live off of smoothies. You can't live fasting. You can't live probably even on a vegan diet. You're going to have to at least have dairy and some more fat and more oil and more protein and 3 meals a day and even put on some weight. Oh, no, that's where people draw the line. Well, we'll say most women, but they go, oh, no. I mean, basically, they sometimes say to me, and indirectly, I'd rather be anxiety, have panic attacks, and not sleep than put on even a few pounds. And unfortunately, thin people are trying to stay thin and keep doing things to skipping meals, fasting, juicing, and things like this because they want to stay thin, which in reality, they're probably going to remain thin anyway. They're born thin. They'll probably die thin. They don't need to make all this effort. What they need to do is make sure they're not depleted. And by fasting, skipping meals, and juicing, they become depleted. And when you become depleted of fat, vitamins, B vitamins, the body is going to be in a constant state of panic. It's also another big cause of fertility, being underweight. So funny thing is, okay, I kind of sweet talk these women into just eating more, not skipping meals, having a little. They love fish. They're just not doing it because they think it's bad. They love cheese, but they're not doing it because they think it's bad. I mean, a lot of times I tell people to eat things and they don't do it because they read somewhere it's bad. And they're even beans. I get them off the beans. And so they, sometimes they grudgingly do it because they've had the anxiety and the stress for, 20, 30, 40 years, and they're happy to sleep for a change. So they go along with it. And then they come back a month later when we do the follow-up, and I go, well, how's it going with anxiety and the sleep? And, oh, yeah, I'm sleeping great. I'm relaxed. Even my husband says I'm more chilled. And I go, oh, good. Sounds like you've made a lot of progress. She goes, I only one new big problem. I go, what's that? Oh, I put on 6 pounds. And I go, but you look the same to me. I can't see the 6 pounds. And then I ask, did you have to change dress size? No. So you didn't get any bigger. And that's an amazing thing. I've seen women eat as much as 10 pounds and not even change their dress size because they were so depleted internally. I mean, of course, the boniness went away. So now they're smooth, and smooth is much nicer looking than bony. Let's face it. I'd have to talk no more holes here. But the waist stays the same, even though they put on 5, 6, 7 pounds, because even internally, they were depleted. So they didn't have enough fat and muscle even inside the body. So they didn't get fat. They just filled in all the depletion. And now they feel satisfied. They feel calmer. And now they're sleeping. I've done this hundreds and hundreds of times. I would have thought 20 years ago that people would have figured this out. If you're underweight, skipping meals, not eating enough, you're going to have anxiety because the body is in a constant state of being worried that it's not getting enough food. It doesn't know you're doing it on purpose. It's stressed out. And also, like I said, that's another major cause of infertility, being depleted. Okay, so what else? Overworking, undersleeping. That's it. Too much work, too many jobs. I've had people who are very successful business people, business women, and I told them, oh, okay, no more ventures, no more companies, no more big projects. You're just way stressed out, stretched out, and you need to spend more time relaxing, chilling, doing nothing. You have to have some time every day to relax. Now, I took my relaxing time, my chill time, my do nothing time right before this webinar, so I could be rested up and fresh after a long day of work I already had. And we need that every day, some relaxed time, some downtime, some chill time. And all the animals do it. I have all animals on my ranch. And you see the dog, the cat, even the horse, after they've eaten and they feel good, they just got to sit there and stare into the distance. The cat watches the chickens. The chickens are poking around. The horse is, he's relaxed now. He's eaten enough. The dog's watching the cat. I'm watching the dog. And we're trying not to think, or at least I'm trying not to think. I think the animals are doing it naturally, not thinking. They're just like observing with no thought. And they can do it long periods of time. I mean, just watch a cat. He can sit there for like an hour just staring off into the field, staring out there. We watch chickens a lot. And chickens kind of keep you busy. And I even read in Ayurveda, watching chickens is relaxing. And I do find it quite relaxing. I was doing it just a little while ago, just watching the chickens and the cats watching the chickens, the dogs, while we're just all sitting there. And we need that every day. You could call it meditation. You could also do yoga. But you need downtime every day where you're not thinking, not reading, not doing anything, but relaxing and not thinking. You have to make more effort to not think. We overthink things. I always say, and I say to a lot of people, don't bother thinking. You have a lot to do in life. Just get up, make a list of what you have to do the night before. Don't think about it. Look at the list in the morning and just start doing it. What you don't finish, add it to another list, go at it the next day. But you don't need to be thinking about it all night long. And you don't need to be thinking at all, really. I mean, there's really not much room or need to think. You could go for days and never think at all. I mean, if something new happens or, something there's a fire or some emergency, you may have to think, what should I do here? But most of the time, there's no need to think at all. Just do what you have to do and keep going, do your best. Don't really think about it. I mean, most people have to cook, clean, work, all these things, take herbs. And so you have plenty to do. And then even relaxing. Maybe that's one thing you need to think about. Like, oh, I need to stop thinking and working and relax and do nothing and not think. That's what meditation is all about. Stilling the mind to not think. A very good practice. Overthinking, big problem in our society. So anything you can do to relax, stay away from the TV, stay away from the news, stay away from politics, and just focus on doing the things you need to do in life. Don't overstretch yourself. Don't push yourself too much. I see a lot of people with stress and anxiety, and I say, well, what kind of exercise you doing? I'm thinking, let's see if they're doing any yoga. Oh, no, they're running 6 miles a day. What? You're going to the gym and you have a trainer? Is a trainer like kicking your ass? Oh, yeah, the trainer's really kicking your ass. Well, that's the last thing you need. If you're a big overweight, lazy person who's not getting any exercise and you've really put on a lot of weight with your day job, sitting at a computer, and you really need somebody to kick your ass and get you moving and help you lose a lot of pounds, then fine. But if you're a thin person and probably in my book, possibly even underweight, and you're going to the gym or you're running miles every day, you're only making it worse by pushing your body, burning up your calories, burning up your own energy when you need to be relaxing. You need to be doing yoga. You need to be doing pranayama, breathing, meditating, sitting outside, just watching chickens go by. You need to be doing something way more calming, just taking a hot bath. Okay, we'll do some home remedies here next, but I hope you got the idea. You got to have a full diet. You got to stay grounded. You got to have a nutritious diet. You've got to avoid anything that creates stress and anxiety. Don't work too much. Focus on relaxing more, and this will go along. And get all these stimulants out of your life and get yourself to sleep. We're going to talk about that because that's very important. So other home remedies you can do, meditation, watching chickens, yoga, hot bath, salt bath. This is so effective. And sometimes people do appointments and their whole number one problem is insomnia. They've had it for 40 years. So I think, their whole issue is insomnia. So I better make sure I knock them out. So I say, okay, go to the bathroom, take a bath, put in some salt, take my relaxing tea, which we're going to cover. There's my relaxing tea by Herban Teas, our sponsor today. There's our sponsor, Herban Teas. And this is probably our featured tea today. Chill out, relaxing and calming tea, relieves anxiety, reduces stress, and improves sleep. This is a magical tea, and it tastes great. It's got rose petals, lavender in, big seller. We're selling it online at herbanteas.com, and you can get it there for a discounted price. You get a nice big bag. Very, very, very effective. So and we'll talk more about some of these herbs that you can take in a minute. But I have them take the relaxing tea in the bathroom, drink it in the bathtub. I remember this one woman, and she was writing everything down. And of course, I told her to eat more, stop skipping meals, get off the coffee, and take this warm bath at night in salt, drinking the relaxing tea. Then I said, before you get in the bath, why don't you make a cup of, get a cup of water and put a little bit of our sleeping tea in it. Make a cup of sleeping tea. There's our Herban Tea sleeping tea. We'll talk more about these in a minute. Knockout sleeping tea. It really is a knockout formula. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you the ingredients in a minute. And then mix it, put a little bit of the sleeping tonic in it. Now, see, these powders are way stronger than the teas because you're ingesting the whole herb. These are Ayurvedic formulas, and they're much, much stronger than the teas. So then I really wanted to get her to sleep. So I told her, take a teaspoon and put it in the sleeping tea. And then go set it by your bed. Then after you come out of the bathtub, shoot that down and get in bed and have all the lights out, all the computers out, no electronics, no flashing at all in the room. And then, of course, make the temperature just right, because if you're too cold, you can't sleep. If you're too hot, it also affects your sleep. So so a month later, she comes back, she does the follow-up. And I said, oh, how'd it go? My herbs knock you out? She goes, oh, yeah. Let me tell you what happened. I go, okay. And she goes, okay, I made the nice bath. I got the tea. Tea was very good. I was drinking the tea in the hot bath. And I told her, put a candle light on. I told her that too. Put a candle in the bathroom and a candle in your bedroom, because the bright lights keep you up and a candle will put you to sleep. So she had the candle going in the bathroom. I think we even put some lavender essential oil in the bathtub, which she had already been trying. She had this lavender. So she had a lavender bath, drinking my relaxing tea with a candle going, probably some other essential oils going in the room, like chamomile or something. And so she said after a while, she was in the bath. She felt so tired. She thought, okay, I better get to bed. And she got out of the bath, and she said she was so sleepy that she started crawling on her hands and knees with a towel wrapped around her to the bedroom. And she got in the bedroom, And she was on her knees and she saw the cup of sleeping tea with the herbs in it. And she remembered my advice to shoot it down. So she shot it down. And then I said, well, what happened next? What happened? She goes, I woke up on the bed nude with no blankets in the morning. And I go, okay, well, maybe you can reduce the dose next time. But it shows you this woman couldn't sleep for 40 years. And that first night, she knocked herself out with the bath, with the candles, with the essential oil, with the relaxing tea, with the sleeping formula, with the sleeping tea. Now, once she got that good night's sleep, hey, it's all downhill from there, because she said she woke up like 6 in the morning full of energy because she slept solid, didn't remember anything, never even got the blankets on her. Apparently, even her feet didn't completely make it on the bed. But that's really what I try to do on the first couple days, is kind of knock them out. Because once you get that knockout effect, then you sleep in the day. You're sleep good. You have no dreams. You don't have any memory of the whole night, and you wake up nice and refreshed, because this is not pharmaceutical medication that's going to hurt you. I mean, I got people taking these herbs for 20 years. There's people in India who are taking similar herbs for, 60, 70 years, their entire life. There's no harmful side effects, nothing to taking these herbs. I mean, they're just helping you. And they're supporting your nervous system. When you look at these herbs, and we'll cover them, there's herbs in there not only to make you relax, but they're supporting your nervous system, because that's what we're treating. We're not just trying to knock you out. There are some herbs in there that are, tagar, the Indian herb, which is, they often call it Indian valerian. Is kind of a knockout herb. It's only like 5% in the formula. But a lot of the other herbs are just to support your nervous system. I remember my teacher in India said, think of these herbs as food for your nerves, not a medicine, not a little pill. You're eating a couple teaspoons. They even have vitamins in them. They even have calcium in them. They even have, certain B vitamins in them. They have nutrients that are good for your nervous system, plus some herbs to sedate you, some herbs to relax you, some herbs to, relax your muscles. So there's different herbs in there with different jobs, but there's many herbs that are just there for your nervous system. So then the next day, a lot of people, they're worried they don't have energy, because I told them to get off the coffee. So then really, I'm going to show you a package I do, and that I think I'm going to put it on Herb Teas. It's called the Stressed Out Package. And this webinar is inspiring me to do it, because I've been thinking about it. I'm going to give 3 teas: adrenal tea, relaxing tea, and sleeping tea. These work fantastic as a combination. I'm going to explain the adrenal tea now. And no, taking these adrenal coffee, chocolate, mushroom drinks that you see on social media are a fraud. They may have adrenal herbs in there, but they're not a true adrenal tonic. Here we go. Once again, by our sponsor, herbmanteas.com, we see this wonderful adrenal fatigue recovery tea here. Lowers stress, supports adrenal glands, provides non-stimulating energy, healthier than coffee. Let's see what these ingredients are. Now we can see that very famous Ayurvedic herb here, ashwagandha. Now, ashwagandha isn't going to put you to sleep. Many people try to take it at night to sleep. It's really just supporting your nervous system. It doesn't really, and it's an adaptogen, so it will give you a small amount of energy. I don't even want to say the word energy, probably more stamina, so you don't get sleepy in the afternoon. But there is our next herb, eleuthero root. They also call this Siberian ginseng, or the poor man's ginseng. And that is the one that definitely gives you some energy, a little up, but nothing like coffee. Licorice is actually good for the adrenals. It's also adaptogen. Cinnamon is for circulation, to get the herbs to, every point in your body. Tulsi is also a minor adaptogen herb, not really energy creating, but it's balancing. Vata, supporting the adrenals. And then ginger is just to, balance it out, give it some flavor, improve your circulation. So this tea, wonderful tea. And this tea is how I get the insomniacs off of coffee. I give them the adrenal tea in the morning. And like I said, you can get this from our sponsor, herbmanteas.com. And I give them that in the morning to keep them going. Now, many people say with this tea, they go, well, I didn't feel much energy when I took it. But I said, were you tired? And they go, no, I didn't feel tired. See, that's it. You don't have this up of energy. You just don't have the crash down. A few people said with that tea that I didn't even think it was working. I was drinking it like a couple cups a day, doing my business, and I didn't think it was working. And then the day I ran out, I felt tired in the afternoon. That's right. It's not going to give you the coffee up or the coffee down. It's just going to give you nice, steady energy throughout the day. Now, if you're really a burned out, overworked, stressed out person who's been overworking, under eating, undersleeping, and depleted, and particularly underweight, and you're just crashing in the afternoon, you're wiped out, you're having to take naps, and even coffee isn't working that well anymore, because that's what happens after a while. The coffee trick only works for about 10 years, and then you just get burned out. Then you crash. We can see people like this. The typical person is the single parent with a full-time job, or maybe 2-3 kids plus a job, and they've been doing this for 10 years. And to raise the kids, to pay the bills, they just keep drinking the coffee. But someday they crash and the coffee doesn't even work anymore. That's the adrenal burnout, as you would call it. So those type of person not only will need that tea, they probably need a formula as well. And there's the formula again. Formulas are way more effective than just the tea. Now we can see though the first ingredient here, it says supports adrenal health, provides non-stimulating energy, improves stamina, reduces anxiety. And first ingredient is the same as the tea, ashwagandha. But now you have a powder, and you can see there's licorice in there, there's ginger in there, cumin just to help you digest it. But there's other herbs. Brahmi is for the mind, for the nervous system. There's tulsi, there's cinnamon. So you see a big overlap. But you have some other herbs you may not be familiar with. Vidarikan, which is like a sweet potato. And bala means strong. That's what bala means. So these are building, strengthening herbs. Ashwagandha, vidarikan, and bala, all building herbs. And you're taking them in powder form. 10 times more effective than just drinking a tea. And this one has no electro. And electro does have that slight pickup. So I give them the adrenal tea in the morning. So gets them going. And then in the afternoon, so they don't crash and keep you going, a couple teaspoons of this with some warm milk. Now, milk, see, is very sustaining, very building, and it's got some fats. It's going to work better with some fat. Then you're going to get more of a time release. If people don't have milk available, I said just mix some ghee with it, warm water with a couple teaspoons, not 1 teaspoon, a couple teaspoons with some ghee. So there's some fat, and that gives you a nice time release. See, the adrenal tea, you drink it and, 30 minutes, you're like, okay, that seems working. I'm ready to go to work. It hits pretty fast. But the adrenal tonic is more slower. Like you take it at 2 o'clock, it's going to help you all afternoon from crashing. So if I can keep you going all day without crashing or napping, then you're going to be more tired at night. And then when the evening comes, and if you have any panic attack, if you're a person with panic attacks, I'm not just going to give you the relaxing tea. I'm going to give you something more effective than just the relaxing tea. This is more for panic attacks. It's in a powder, calming formula, reduces nervous system anxiety. It really should say, helps with panic attacks. So you have that in warm milk or add it to a tea. Oh, it does say for anxiety and panic. And look, there it is, ashwagandha again. But here we have some calming herbs. Jatamansi, shankhpushpi are kind of like passionflower, oat straw. They're very good for the nervous system. There's brahmi, good for the mind, settling the mind, calming the mind down. And tagar is related to valerian. So that gives it, that really helps to stop the panic attack. So this relaxing formula is way more, let's say, relaxing than the chill out tea. The chill out tea, we have the lemon balm from the mint family. We have passionflower, very good for the nervous system. Catnip, also chilling you right out. Motherwort, good for circulation, nerves, racing heart. Oat straw is not even relaxing. It's just supporting the nervous system. Lavender, just for the smell. And the rose petals also for the smell and the look. And, they have a minor anti-inflammatory, relaxing quality to lavender. And rosemary and cinnamon, just to get the herbs, pumping through the body and going through the circulation and getting to where they go. They're called supportive herbs. Very pleasant tea, very nice tasting, but probably not enough to get rid of a panic attack. So after you've gone through your whole day and you come home, then I tell the people, have a relaxing tea. You can make your own. You can get some passionflower, some catnip, maybe a little chamomile, not too much. You get sleepy, and then make some of that warm tea in the evening to start chilling out and relaxing. Then you can do the bath. You can get the massage. Another good home remedy I forgot about is a massage. Here's an oil called Vata massage oil. And look, it says relaxing, warming, grounding. See, grounding is a very good formula. We sell this too. And this is particularly good for somebody who's very dry, and oil massage. So if you can get your partner to give you an oil massage with a tea, with an oil that's got the herbs in it, then, you know, it's got passionflower in it and some of the same herbs that we talked about. They're just infused in the oil. So you can get that oil and massage it on your feet, even children, put it on your forehead for headaches, massage it on your feet. It'll help you relax. You can even massage it on babies' feet. They'll help them sleep. But if you can get a whole body massage for this relaxing oil, oh my God, you won't even need probably the sleepy tea. Probably one of the best things a person could do to get to sleep is these oil massage with the herbs in the oil. We often Vata oil. But if you don't have one of these specialized oils and you're a cold person, you get cold at night, then use sesame oil and warm up that oil. It doesn't have to be a vigorous, hard muscle massage. In this case, it's an herbal oil massage. So you're just trying to coat the body and let those herbs absorb in, and then they get to all the nervous system, because we got nerve endings all over the body, and particularly in our hands and our feet and our head. And like I said, people put that right on their forehead. It takes care of headaches, tension headaches. So there you go. You take a bath, get a hot oil massage, or both, or one or the other. Be sipping your relaxing tea during your massage, during your bath. Then start taking the sleeping formula or sleeping tea. Now, if you just need a little something to get you to sleep, then the knockout tea can do the job. Knockout tea can, if you just need a little something. You're not a big time insomnia. There we got the catnip again, but now we've got some sedative herbs like chamomile. See, that's going to make you sleepy, but you still see the lavender and the passionflower. That's for the nervous system. And then you got poppy seed. That's a sedative. Hops is what they make beer of. That's super sedative. And then valerian. So you've got like hops, and valerian. All that's the knockout aspect of it. And, you know, the licorice root, the rose petals, they're supportive. So if all you need is a little knockout and then you're going to sleep through the night, a tea will be fine. But see, tinctures are very weak. You know, some people say, oh, I tried these herbs in a tincture. I go, how much did you take? And they go, 1 eyedropper. I go, take a half of the bottle. Then you'll go to sleep. See, tinctures are often too weak. Very good for children. But even here, some people say they have to make the tea strong. I sell this online, to people, even on eBay, you can find my products. And some people say, well, it didn't work at first, but I saw the instructions said make it stronger, than it works. Some people do 1 teaspoon, it knocks them out. Other people, if you bought this tea and you said it didn't work, I'll say throw in a tablespoon. Then you'll say, yeah, that worked. Now, some people, this knocks them out and gets them to sleep. But see, it's a tea. It's very light. It's only infusion. It gets in the body quick, like a tea, but doesn't last long. So you could wake up in 3 or 4 hours. And if you're a real insomniac, then generally I give you the powder. The powder is going to be stronger. Sometimes I don't even give the tea, particularly if there's urination at night, then I just give the powder. This one says put you to sleep and keeps you asleep, because Tagar, that's the valerian, is the first ingredient this time. And then jatamansi, shankhpushpi is for your nervous system, and ashwagandha we also use for lowering blood pressure and relaxing the heart muscles, but it's sedative. So this is a pretty sedative formula. 1 teaspoon is probably equal to a couple cups of that tea. So if you're urinating at night and you're a real insomniac, I just give you the formula. I won't even give you the tea. Usually I pit between one or the other. Only in certain cases do I give people both. But remember, the formulas are always much more effective and much stronger than drinking a tea, because and they have a longer effect because you're taking the powder, the herbs in powder form, and your body's got to digest it. So it's kind of slowly, gets into the system, and it has more of a time released, slower effect, particularly if you do it with some fat and some milk. So that's it. You take the adrenal tea in the day, so you're off your coffee and your stimulants, and you don't crash, or any adrenal tonic, and don't do these crazy mushroom, coffee, chocolate adrenal tonics. I've seen adrenal formulas on social media with chocolate. I mean, chocolate's a stimulant to your adrenals, and coffee is probably the worst thing you could ever do. And I've seen adrenal products that have mushrooms and coffee together. These are all fraudsters. Nobody's an herbalist here. They're just marketing and selling you stuff. You got to be very careful. So you have a true adrenal formula in the day. It could be Western herbs, Indian herbs, Chinese herbs. Everybody's got adrenal. A good herbalist has these products. And then at night, relaxing. I mean, easy to make your own relaxing tea. Then sleeping formula, few home remedies, oil massage, bath. You got to focus on it. And then eat during the day. Don't be skipping meals. Have full meals. And then you will have one good night's sleep. You'll feel much better. Your whole life will change. And you'll be wondering, like many of my patients, why I did not do this sooner. Okay. Well, I hope that gives you a wealth of information to get you to sleep, get you relaxed, and help you have less stress in your life. Or, like I said, it's really a lot of these herbs, like the adrenal tonic and the relaxing tea and calming formula, they're really helping you manage the stress better. Probably the stress isn't going away unless you change jobs or, divorce whoever's stressing you out. But it helps you manage it better. You deal with it better. Just like, a person who hasn't eaten all day doesn't deal well with stress. I mean, once you've eaten, you're satisfied, you're calm, you've had a nice meal, you're going to deal better with bad news or stress or overwork. But people skipping meals, eating too light, just having salads, having smoothies, they're always going to react more to any stressful events. So eat healthy, eat complete, and use the herbs to change your life and transform your health. I mean, herbs are inexpensive. There's no reason to suffer from anxiety and insomnia. I've never had a compliant client who I couldn't get to sleep. Now, I have to say compliant because if you don't take the herbs, change diet, there's not much I can do for you. But if you're motivated after 40, 50 years of having anxiety and no sleep, then, you should be pretty motivated to do this. And as you can see on my website, Khabir'sClinic.com, I've got hundreds of testimonials for anxiety and sleep. And mostly I'm doing exactly what I told you here, changing the diet, making sure they're eating, and giving them a mix of these products that I've shown you today. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I wish you the best of health and happiness, good sleep, relaxation, and a happy, full life. God bless you all, and I look forward to seeing you soon again.